And President, and what's your reporting on what you're hearing out of the Trump campaign on how aggressive?
Even before this New York Times story, from the candidate on down, they plan to be very aggressive on issues related to politics and sex and the Clintons. Yeah. And I'll say again, it's a difference between maybe what is and what ought to be. But Donald Trump will go on and talk about anything he's ever done and anything he's ever been accused of with bravado and confidence. And she just will not. And it may not be fair, and it may not be good for democracy, and it may not be the most uplifting election we've ever had. But that's what's going to happen on a lot of days.
Do you agree, Steve Schmidt?
Look, there's going to be no holds barred. There are guardrails around the issues that campaigns have been comfortable talking or not talking about with regard to the Clintons. And the media has policed it, and so when attacks are made, they have been dismissed as fringe attacks, not appropriate for the public discourse, and Donald Trump simply doesn't care. So with those guardrails removed, it's no holds barred in the middle of the ring. And to Mark Halperin's point, which is exactly right, Donald Trump is not bothered talking about these issues, and it seems to me that the other campaign is much more troubled about it. So that's a huge advantage to the person who is unafraid to level the attack and unafraid with regard to sustaining it. He's not going to back down. He's going to throw a lot of punches, and he's going to inform a lot of people for the first time in this election who have forgotten about these old stories from 20 years ago.
And they're also, Donnie Deutsch, they're also not so old stories
Here's
that the Trump
here's the
people are
tennis
talking
game.
about.
Okay, Donald Trump kissed a woman in a bathing suit. Trump hits back. Tell me about the president's relationship with a guy named Jeffrey Epstein. That's your tennis match. And
What's that? What do you mean?
There's Jeffrey Epstein, who has been gone to jail for being with underage girls, boys, whatever it is, and Bill Clinton's a very good friend of his. Spent a lot of time with him, a lot of plane rides, and there's going to be a lot of questions about that. I'm just telling it like it is. That is the new story that is going to be the ultimate counterattack. Nobody wants to talk about it, but that's the fact.
I will say, this was a blind spot for me, I guess, because I'm not in New York, sort of New York circles. This is something I have been hearing about for a year and a half. I don't know why. I don't know the whole story or anything, but I keep having reporters say this is going to blow up.
Well, I think Mark can bear this out as well. There are going to be a series of constant updates from the Trump campaign about the life of a former president of the United States, Bill Clinton, over the last 10, 15 years. What he's been doing, what he does. They are going there. Everybody knows they're going there. This is going to be incredibly ugly.
Steve Schmidt, do you go there? If you're Donald Trump, do you risk it blowing up in your face?
I don't think there's any question that they're going to go there. And as Mike just pointed out, there hasn't been a lot of public discussions about the president's personal life over the last 10 to 15 years. I think that's going to change. I don't think it's a question of whether Donald Trump should do it, whether it's good for the election, whether it's good for democracy, good for America. I think there's a 100% chance he's going there.
And what does that have to do with Hillary Clinton?
New York Times just gave him no choice.
Well, look, part of the formulation of the Clintons, going back to the '92 election, is you get two for the price of one. And so when Hillary Clinton out there yesterday is talking about, I'm going to put my husband in charge of reviving the economy in Kentucky for the coal miners, he's very much going to be a part of the campaign. And the Donald Trump campaign is going to do everything to make him an issue in the campaign. The Trump campaign is going to try to insulate him from more attacks about his behavior with regard to women. And he's going to try to turn the table back on the Democrats. I mean, a meme in American politics over the last years for the Democrats have bludgeoned Republicans with regard to the quote-unquote war on women. And Donald Trump isn't going to take it lying down. He's going to fight back. He's going to fight back hard on it. And we've seen in the Republican primary, which I'm not sure the Democrats have a sufficient grasp of yet, is that there are no boundaries for the types of attacks he will make. And these are not ineffective attacks. They tend to do damage. He has shown a proclivity to find the weak spot and put the knife in.
It's actually suddenly it's sounding like the election of 1800. We need John Meacham here to talk about that. One of the dirtiest elections. And do you agree?
Nothing yet.
Do you agree with Donnie keeps saying this, and people in New York keep saying this, like this Jeffrey Epstein thing. Do you think that's coming out, and is that the bombshell that everybody says it is?
I think that the Republicans will do a lot of stuff like that, but it goes to the larger issue of Trump's ability to dominate the agenda.
But does it blow back? Does it blow up in their face where women say that has nothing to do with Hillary?
Well, it depends on the facts.
That's up to Hillary.
Depends on the facts. But
they're using the word enabler.
Yeah.
Remember, that's the word they're on.
It depends on the facts, and in some of the cases, the facts will be uncomfortable for the Clintons. But I will say, Donald Trump's ability to just beyond these issues to control the agenda. Go back to the Washington Post story we talked about earlier in the program. The Clinton folks understand now better than they did before that this is a different kind of opponent. And they've never run against anybody like this before. And it is going to be difficult because her husband and Barack Obama and Joe Biden, they cannot save her. They can help her, but they can't save her. She has to stand up herself against a guy with better skills.
That's
It's just the reality of the race.
Mika and I were talking before the League of Women Voters, and Mika, you asked me a question about running against a woman.
Right.
Isn't it harder? Yes, it's harder. And you overplay your hand, and it explodes. And it's bad. I
think it might be different this time.
I just don't know. I think there are going to be a lot of women out there that'll go, hey, that's what he did. That's none of her business.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it is her business, but that's between them. Okay? Stay out of their lives. Stay out of their business.
She's the favorite. We can't say it enough. She is the favorite.
Yeah.
It's certainly going to be interesting to watch.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Mika, what do you think?
Still,
And we'll be here to bring it to you every day from the Action News team.
Oh, my God.
I'm not interested in this. I don't want to do it.
No.
Ugly.
It's just
gonna
ugly.
happen, though.
And, boy, I'll tell you what, after 16 years of combined Republican and Democratic failed foreign policy, with our I mean, you talk to anybody running a country or any ambassador across the globe, they will tell you our reputation across the world is shattered. Shattered because of Barack Obama and shattered because of George W. Bush. It is a bipartisan complaint.
It's not going to get better in the next.
And now we're looking at this for an election. I'm telling you, people across the world are shaking their heads, wondering what the hell has happened to America.
Ain't seen nothing yet.
And it only gets worse.
Still, thank you, everybody. Have a nice day.